Dear colleagues and friends, first of all, allow me to congratulate the Construction Workers Federation of India, as well as its leaders, cadres, and members all over India, and particularly its leader, Comrade Debanjan Chakraborty, for their initiative to organize such an important seminar. This seminar is taking place in a crucial period for our federation, as in less than 1 month, it will have been 75 years since the foundation of the WFTU. 75 years with struggles, honor, and dignity. As you know, the World Federation of Trade Unions, founded on October 3rd, 1945, just after the great anti-fascist victory of the peoples. Since then, the WFTU was, is, and will always be on the side of the working class, constituting the militant, relentless and class-oriented voice and expression of the interests and needs of the peoples and ordinary people all over the world. Today, the WFTU has 105 million members in 132 countries of the 5 continents, which means that there is not a single corner of the globe without the presence of our federation, without members, militants, cadres, and struggles of the WFTU. In the framework of the WFTU 75th anniversary celebration, they have been organized several multi-thematic seminars, and we are very glad that today's webinar is taking place under the title Socialist System Prevail over the Capitalist System to Combat Covid19 Pandemic. Dear colleagues, brothers and sisters, we are living in the age of pandemic. According to the WHO data, until today, more than 27 million cases have been recorded, and almost 900,000 people lost their lives because of the pandemic. In addition, in your country, India, there are more than 4 million cases and more than 71,000 deaths. These are the consequences of the policies of capitalist governments. These data reveal the real picture and the heavy responsibilities of all capitalist governments, whether they are neoliberal, social democrats, conservatives ones. Simultaneously, monopoly and transnational groups are making use of the pandemic, laying off workers or limiting their rights. Many governments, taking advantage of the coronavirus, prohibit democratic and trade union rights. Their objective is to track the movements and activities of citizens by electronic means. It has been proven at a global level that freedoms have been jeopardized in the wake of the pandemic. This situation has once again exposed the barbarism of the exploitative social system in which we live, as well as its inability to face the crisis in favor of the peoples. Amid this situation, the working class and the popular strata could and should draw some conclusions. The first conclusion is the moral superiority of the working class against the parasitism of the ruling class. While parasites speculate, workers risk their lives in the front line of the pandemic fire, producing all the essentials for life. While powerful industrialists, kings, cardinals are hiding in their palaces, the manual and intellectual workers are struggling on the front line to produce food, medicine, transport, cleaning, communications, energy, and everything necessary to make life possible. The poor peasantry, along with the popular strata, contribute to the effort to continue the production of goods. On the other side, one can see the ruling class, which is speculating, ruthless and inhuman. It is taking advantage of the pandemic, increasing prices, stealing from the pockets of simple people, hiding products in order to generate artificial shortages. As in wars, in crisis too, they only believe in one God, profit. The second conclusion is regarding the public sector in general and the public health care. The bourgeois policies for years served the dogma of less state and privatizations, depriving the public sector of human resources and equipment. Even so, this public health sector, this abandoned sector, fights today like an invincible army, many times without weapons, without individual protection, but with courage. On the other side, one can see speculators from private monopoly groups who steal from the public sector, who sell their hospital beds and virus tests at over-expensive prices, exploit the suffering of ordinary people, and stain their profits with blood in collusion with the governments. They do not care for the right to health of the ordinary people, since only the ones who have money, only the capitalists, can be hospitalized to the luxury hospitals of the private sector. The third conclusion that must be drawn is the superiority of the socialist system. While the USA President Trump and other leaders of the powerful capitalist states were spending their time in the inter-capitalist competition and race of obtaining masks and other medical equipment, the Cubans were sending masks, doctors, and health equipment in Italy and other countries. This is socialism? Socialism is serving the people's needs, the interests of humanity, and not the private profit. Hence, we consider it a very important duty of the affiliated organizations of the WFTU, each militant union, to support the WFTU demand that the 2021 Nobel Peace Prize be awarded to the international health contingent Henry Reeve of Cuba. In this way, the prize will be awarded to a group that truly contributes and works for the good of humanity and not for the objectives of the imperialists. The race of the vaccine creation is also a crucial and complicated issue, not only from a financial point of view, but is also a geostrategic matter related to several issues and consequences, including the inter-capitalist conflict for the spheres of influence. As you know, the Russian Federation has already announced the launching of the vaccine on the market. This constitutes one more argument for the superiority of socialism, because the ability of the Russian Federation to be the first country that places a vaccine in the market is based on the Soviet heritage and the superiority of the USSR in scientific researches and achievements. In these circumstances, it is important for workers to understand that capitalism only generates and reproduces disease, torment, and exploitation. Capitalism is anachronistic. It is barbaric. It cannot be humanized. The reformists who present the modernization of the exploitative system as a solution become servants of the social exploitation. There is no vaccine, nor will it be found to humanize a capitalism. It contains social inequality from its womb. Hence, the WFTU and the international class-oriented trade union movement intensify its struggles for the covering of the contemporary need of the working class, as well as for a society free of man-by-man exploitation. Therefore, the main slogan of the WFTU 75th anniversary celebration is "Workers and the Peoples United of a World with Social Justice against Monopolies and the Imperialism." Dear colleagues, brothers and sisters, the WFTU has been always having strong bonds with India and Indian people. We respect and recognize the pioneering role of your country and unions within the WFTU and the international class-oriented trade union movement. The massiveness and the decisiveness of your struggles, such as the recent strike with the participation of more than 200 million strikers, spread hope to the exploited workers all over the world. We will jointly continue our struggle in the same direction for the benefit of the working class, for the present and future of the class-oriented trade union movement.